Live from Central Pennsylvania, this is CBS 21 News at 5.
The consent decree imposed upon Penn State in July in 2012 is hereby repealed.
Penn Staters rejoice. 112 football victories swept away in the Jerry Sandusky scandal have now been restored. It's, of course, our top story tonight at 5. I'm Rob Hanrahan.
And I'm Sherry Christian in for Tanya Foster tonight. Now, this all comes after a lawsuit between state leaders and the NCAA.
We have team coverage tonight. We begin with CBS 21's Donna Kirker-Morgan, who joins us live in Harrisburg with why this is not being called a settlement. Donna.
Inside the state capitol today, Senator Jake Corman called this a sincere victory, a surrender by the NCAA. He says he did not end his litigation with that organization with a settlement. No, this was a repeal of the very agreement that cost Penn State 112 football victories, scholarships, and bowl games. Cameras lined up at the Capitol Media Center after this senator promised big news in his legal fight against the National Collegiate Athletic Association, and he delivered.
The consent decree imposed upon Penn State in July in 2012 is hereby repealed.
This means Joe Paterno and the university will regain 112 football wins taken away by the NCAA because of the Sandusky child sex abuse scandal.
The restoration of these victories will once again and forevermore restore Joe Paterno as the winningest coach in the history of college football with 409 victories.
Senator Jake Corman represents State College and sued the NCAA, questioning whether it had the legal authority to impose the sanctions against the football program after the revelations of former defensive coach Jerry Sandusky's abuse of young boys.
Clearly, there was a rush to judgment here. Clearly, the NCAA looked to make their own name on the backs of Penn State University.
Corman does not downplay the seriousness of the Sandusky scandal, calling it a horror. And as part of his agreement, Penn State will still pay $60 million to reduce child abuse, but that money stays in Pennsylvania.
I'm not here to exonerate anyone. We all wish who live in that community that we would have noticed it, that we would have seen it, that we'd have understood what was going on. We didn't.
Keeping that $60 million fine in the state was how this lawsuit started, but then as they got into the process, they found cracks in the NCAA leadership, some of them saying that they felt that their authority was overextended. This all came out as the lawsuit continued, and now it is over. Reporting live in Harrisburg, Donna Kirker-Morgan, CBS 21 News.
All right, Donna, thanks. This is the latest NCAA sanction to be lifted against Penn State. Football scholarships were restored back in September of 2013, and a bowl ban was lifted back in September of last year. The $60 million fine to fund anti-child abuse efforts remains in place, but a judge upheld an earlier ruling this past week that money will stay in Pennsylvania.
Of course, no surprise, there's a lot of reaction. Tonight, we're hearing from Sue Paterno and her thoughts on today's developments. She was pleased with what happened, but says the work is not finished.
And we're going to still keep looking for the truth to get everything right for everybody, because we still have Tim, Gary, and Graham that have to be exonerated in all this. And thank you to all the Penn Staters and to Jake Corman, because they've made this happen. We are passionate with them. So it's a great day for Penn State.
Of course, Sue Paterno not the only one reacting. We have our crews in State College telling us that it's a quiet night on campus tonight, but the people who have heard the news say that they're excited about what this means for the school and the Penn State football program.
That's right. People we spoke with today say Joe Paterno deserves to have his wins count because he did a lot for the school and the program. One fan we spoke with told us he never thought this day would come, but he sure is glad it did.
We're excited that Joe Paterno is going to get his wins back. It's going to be awesome. He should. He deserves it. He wasn't part of all that. Big time. It'll restore the history. It'll restore the whole community. It'll bring it back. Bring it back to life.
Overall, a good day for Penn State fans who can now once again call Joe Paterno the winningest coach in college football.
That's right, and it's a big deal. And now that Paterno has his wins back, The next question is, will his statue be back out in front of Beaver Stadium? It was removed by then Penn State President Rodney Erickson. He said it had become a source of division and an obstacle to healing. Right now it remains in storage.
Our coverage continues. Coming up at 5:30, our sports director, Jason Bristol, is taking a closer look at what this decision means for the future of the NCAA. And then at 6, we're getting reaction from former Penn State players. Meanwhile, you can find continuing coverage of this story on our website, CBS21.com. It's also lighting up our Twitter and Facebook pages as well.